This video is about measures of center. First, we're going to take a look at the arithmetic mean, or we just normally refer to that as the mean. And you find this by adding up all of your data values, and then you divide by the total number of data values that you have. So here is the notation. So the mean is equal to x with a line over it, and x with a line over it is read x bar. And this notation is what we call the summation symbol. And what that means is that you add up all of the items. So you're going to add up all of the x's or all of the data values that you have, and n is always going to refer to the number of data that we have. So that's what the notation means. The next one is called the median, and this is basically just the middle value once you have them ordered from the smallest to the largest. Next, we have the mode of the data. The mode of the data is the data value that occurs the most frequently amongst all of your data. If there's more than one that occur the same number of times, so let's say you have a set of data and there are two items that show up 3 times, then both of those would be your mode, as long as there aren't any that show up 4 or 5 times. Multimodal is when you have more than two, and there's no mode if there aren't any repeated data values. Here's just a list of some notation that we'll be using really frequently. So again, this symbol here is the summation symbol, and it means the sum of the data values. X is what we will use for variables. N with a lowercase n will be the number of data values in a sample. A capital N will denote the number of data values within a population. X bar, again, this is our mean, so that's the sum of all of your data values divided by the number of data values in your sample. When we use the Greek letter mu, it's the same thing as x bar, only this is for a population. So mu is the sum of all the data values in a population divided by the total number of data values in that population. When you're rounding for a mean or a median, you want to carry it one more decimal place than what's present in the original set of data values. If you need to round, that's how you would round. For the mode, you leave the data value as it is without doing any rounding at all. So now some examples. Our first example, we want to find the mean, median, and mode of this small data set. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to reorder it so that I have the data going from the smallest to the largest. So I have two data values of 74, and I'm just going to cross those off as I list them. One, so that I use all of the data values, and two, so that I don't repeat any by mistake. The next largest data value is 109. And then I have two data values of 113. And then the next higher one is 118. And then I have 128 and 130. So we want to add all of these up, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 data values. So we're going to add those up and divide by 8. So you could go ahead and do this along with me. So when I added up all my data values, I got 859. And I need to divide that by 8. This gives me 107.375. And we want to round this so that it's one decimal place beyond where my data is. So my data doesn't have any decimal places, and so I want to round this to one decimal place. So that would be 107.4. So that is our mean. Next, we want to find the median. Now this is the middle data value. There are 8 data values in our data set, and so that means that there isn't one that's exactly in the middle. So the only way you can end up with a middle data value is if you have an odd number of data. So if we had 9 data values or 11 data values or 101 data values, then we would have an exact middle data value. But in this set of data, we don't. So we want exactly in the middle, and since there are 8, there will be 4 to the left and 4 to the right of where the center of our data is. So that's right here. And what you want to do is take the average, or the mean, of the middle 2. So that would be 113 plus 113 divided by 2, which is just going to end up being 113. So this is our median. And then we want to find the mode. And the mode is the data value that shows up the most frequently in our set of data. And we have 2 of them. We have 74, which shows up twice, and we have 113 that shows up twice. So this is bimodal. And the 2 modes are 74 and 113. In the next example, we're going to find the mean, median, and mode of this as well, and somehow the word mode is gone. So the first step is to order my list. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, and then I have 10 twice. So I want to add all of these up. And divide by the number of data I have. And so I have 5 data values in this data set, so we're going to divide that total by 5. And so we have 2 and 3 is 6, or 2 and 3 is 5, plus 1 is 6. So we have 26 in the numerator when we add those up, and then divide that by 5. And we get 5.2, and we don't need to round because it came out to one decimal place. So this is our mean. Next, we'll find the median. So when you're doing the median, you always need to go to your ordered data set. There are 5 data values, so you can divide that by 2. 5 divided by 2 gives you 2.5. And so that means that we would have 2 to the left of the middle and 2 to the right. So that's going to be our third data value, and that's the number 3. So that's our median. And then the mode is the data value that shows up the most frequently, and for this data set it's 10, because that one is there twice, and it's the only one that's there twice. Our next example, we're going to find the mode for each of these sets of data, and they're already ordered for us. So the first data set is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all of those data values are only present once, and so this one has no mode. We need at least one data value that is repeated in order to have a mode. The next data set, 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so 2 is the one that shows up the most, and so that's our mode. In our next data set, we have 2, 2, 2, 333, 56777. So this one is multimodal. And the modes are 2, 3, and 7. So those all show up 3 times in our data set. Let me know if you have any questions, and I hope you have a wonderful day.